Good morning again, folks, from Sean Citizen in the lunatic asylum called Ireland. I've remade this video. The sound on the last one was very bad. Um, this is a comedy film, could be the best blockbuster of the year. I would propose Gene Wilder in the role of this guy from Romania, Romanian gypsy called Vasily. Anyway, here we go. Guilty plea, man on disability allowance, jailed for money laundering after 228,000 euros went through his bank account. And that's better than Bertie Ahern, I can tell you. Now, a father of 11 who receives 455 euros a week in disability allowance, as well as over 164,000 in rent allowance during his term in Ireland, was jailed for 3 years for money laundering. Cork Circuit Criminal Court was told that Shilimbar Vasili, age 57, who has a previous conviction for stealing money from charity collection boxes all over the south of Ireland, had an AIB bank card in the name of another individual, with Gardaí discovering that over 228,000 had passed through the account. Vasily of 13A Eagle Valley swoops like an eagle on the church collection boxes. Sarsfield Road, Wilton, Cork, pleaded guilty before Judge Colin Daly to a money laundering charge. He pleaded guilty that on September the 24th, 2019, the proceeds of criminal conduct, namely a quantity of cash, was credited to an AIB account in the name of another person, knowing or being reckless as to whether the cash involved was the proceeds of crime. So it would appear that Mr. Vasil, while he was very busy dipping little hooks into the church collection boxes all over the south of Ireland. By the way, he used to drive a BMW apparently while he was making his weekly collections, was also operating a laundering or money transfer system to the Romani population in Romania uh, through his bank account. So anyway, he came to the attention of the police more for that than for dipping his fingers into the boxes. So Judge Daly was told by Detective Garda David Kelleher that Gardaí began an investigation over 2 years ago. In January the 2021, he was found with the AIB card and lodgement slips in the name of another person. When questioned by detectives about the precise role of the monies involved, Vasily said the money had been derived from begging and from selling copies of the Big Issue. Oh God, he must have sold an awful lot of copies of the Big Issue and had a very successful begging business around Cork. The court was told that Vasily was receiving 455 euros a week in disability allowance. It hasn't been mentioned that he had 11 offspring, spawned 11 children when he came from Romania. So the allowance, all the children's allowance is 150 euros a month. So it's possibly he was getting up to 2 grand a month in children's allowance on top of that. He also had his rent paid for, and he also was getting his disability allowance. So he was earning a tidy sum, the equivalent of about 80,000 a year before tax for an ordinary person. But he was a bit greedy going after the boxes and transferring money laundering for other Romanian bad boys. Defence Counsel Siobhan Langford, SC, previously, I wonder was she appointed for free legal aid, previously argued that her client had cooperated with the Gardaí investigation and had significantly aided the state with a plea of guilty, which saved both the time and expense of a potentially legal, lengthy trial. She also submitted the property cited in Romania was in fact a home which had a kind of a family background. However, the Gardaí investigated the home and went to Romania to check it out, and it was found to be free of mortgage, and they didn't know what this family background meant, but it was in his name anyway, and he owned it. The court was told that Vasil had learned a salutary lesson now and had not come to Gardaí notice since his 2021 arrest for laundering money and other offences, previous offences, of course, dipping his greasy fingers into the till in the all collection boxes all over the south of Ireland, speeding around in his BMW. Now, the poor guy, it also said, has diabetes and epilepsy. So I have a picture in my mind of Vasil speeding around in his BMW with his fish hook, uh, dipping his fingers, his trembling, epileptic-like fingers into the boxes in every church, and fishing out all the envelopes and throwing them into a big bag in the back of the BMW and driving back home eventually after a hard day's work to his home in Eagle Valley in Cork. Gene Wilder would play this role wonderful. Uh, it says if given an opportunity to provide himself, to prove himself, he would never engage in activity like this again, she said. Uh, an aggravating factor, however, the judge said, was that he was claiming social welfare payments for the duration of all this offending and stealing and robbing and whatever. He had 9 previous convictions for stealing from charity and church boxes. So that's Vasil, a guest of Roderick O Gorman, arrived here in the early days when Ireland was the first country to throw Romania open to its borders to admit people without any visas for work or whatever. And they arrived here in great multitudes, some of them good, ordinary hardworking Romanian people looking for jobs, and some of them part of the 3 or 4 million Romanian gypsies who live in that country. And I doubt if any of them ever earned an honest day's work in their lives. So they're still here, busy beavering away, and this guy was caught for being turning into a high-profile Romanian criminal. And Roderick O'Gorman, we have to thank you for introducing such diversity here. And maybe you could help if you find a director to start a film, to a director to in Hollywood. You could maybe try and make contacts there to get somebody to make a classic comedy film about Ireland and its Romanian guests of great diversity. And this particular one indeed merits a great film. I think the audience would be rolling in the aisles. Good luck, folks, from the Looney Bin in Ireland, and don't forget my website, my Facebook site, Ireland's Deadliest Ever Coalition Government, and soldiersofdestiny.org. 2 of them there to check up on old stuff. Good luck, folks. Have a nice day.